Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking complete control of your auto insurance. We're going to master exactly how, when, and why you need to add a driver to your Allstate policy. Now, I know it might sound like just another mundane administrative task, but getting this right, or, getting it wrong, can literally be the difference between total peace of mind and absolute financial devastation. Listen to this actual quote I found from a pretty bewildered Reddit user asking for advice. They said, "A friend of mine uses my car every Friday and Saturday to get to work. That's permissive use, right?" Guys, this is a massive, widely held misconception. People just naturally assume that because their insurance covers occasional borrowing, it automatically covers a friend, a roommate, or a family member who's driving the car multiple times a week. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens if that unlisted regular driver totals your car? Well, if you hand over your keys regularly and that person isn't officially on your policy, your insurance company can completely deny the claim. No joke. You could be left paying for a totaled vehicle totally out of pocket, facing intense liability lawsuits, and even having your insurance policy retroactively canceled. To make absolutely sure that never happens to you, we've put together a clear roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the risk of unlisted drivers, go over how to prepare, walk through the step-by-step methods, explore some real-life complications, break down premium impacts, and then wrap it all up. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the risk of unlisted drivers. Managing exactly who is listed on your policy is an absolute necessity, mostly because insurance contracts are legally binding financial instruments. They calculate risk based on who actually has access to the keys. So there's a really critical difference between permissive use and regular operation. Permissive use is for when your friend borrows your truck just once to move a couch, or maybe someone drives you to the hospital in a sudden emergency. But a regular operator, that's someone who commutes in your car every weekend, or basically anyone of driving age who resides in your household. If they live with you or they drive the car predictably and regularly, Allstate strictly requires them to be listed. And if you don't list them, you are committing what the insurance industry calls material misrepresentation. In plain English, that's lying by omission. If Allstate discovers you've been hiding a teen driver or a roommate who uses your car, they consider the contract totally breached. That means retroactive premium hikes, or if a crash actually happens, zero coverage. Section 2, preparing to add a driver. All right, now that we understand the stakes, let's talk about getting this done correctly. Before you even log into your account or pick up the phone, you need to be prepared. Seriously, do not start this process without gathering these exact data points first. You are going to need their full legal name, date of birth, their exact driver's license number and its status, their social security number, and their occupation. But most importantly, you need their complete driving history. Every single ticket, every little fender bender. Providing accurate info right out of the date prevents frustrating underwriting delays and ensures your rate quote is actually accurate. Section 3, step-by-step addition methods. Let's move on and see how this all builds into the actual step-by-step methods for adding a driver. Allstate actually makes this surprisingly simple, and you've got a few different ways to execute the change. The most popular and efficient route is just digital self-service. Step 1, you just log into the Allstate mobile app or the My Account web portal. Step 2, select your auto policy. Step 3, look for the popular tasks section and click Add or Remove Vehicles or Drivers. Step 4, input all that data you just gathered. And finally, Step 5, the automated rating engine will instantly calculate your new premium. You just review the quote, click confirm, and boom, the contract is legally bound and updated. It's really that easy. Now, if you prefer a human touch, or if your living situation is a bit complicated, like maybe you're co-owning a car with someone at a totally different address, you have other options. You can use their online chat to simulate quotes, call the 24/7 customer support line, or even sit down with your local Allstate agent to get real-time adjustments. Section 4, real-life scenarios and complications. It's one thing to read the rules, but let's look at how these underwriting guidelines actually play out in everyday household situations. Let's say you've got a roommate. By living with you, they inherently have access to your keys, meaning they must be accounted for. You basically have two choices here. You can add them to your policy, making them fully covered, but your premium will reflect their driving record. Or in many states, you can use a driver exclusion, often called Form A-264. This strictly bans them from driving your car, and it can definitely save you money. But beware, if you officially exclude them and then one day they move your car just to avoid a street sweeping ticket and happen to scrape a Ferrari, Allstate pays absolutely nothing. You are personally on the hook for the whole shebang. So this brings us to a crucial point, the vehicle attribution warning. When you add a new driver to a multi-car household, you absolutely must explicitly assign them to a specific vehicle. If you don't step in and manually assign your newly licensed 16-year-old to the old, beat-up family sedan, the automated underwriting system might just default that high-risk teenager to your most expensive, brand-new car. And that will cause your premiums to absolutely skyrocket for no reason. Section 5. Premium Impacts and Discounts. Let's tackle the financial side now because the burning question on everyone's mind is always, okay, how much is this actually going to cost me? Let's look at some hard data from WalletHub. For a 30-year-old driver paying a baseline of $817 for a 6-month policy, if they add a 50-year-old with a solid driving history, the rate goes up moderately to about $1,281. But look at what happens when you add a 16-year-old. The premium literally leaps to $2,580. Adding a high-risk, inexperienced driver radically changes the financial math of your policy for sure. But hey, don't panic. You can actively fight back against those rate spikes by stacking discounts. Make sure you enroll in eSmart for paperless billing and Easy Pay for automatic withdrawals. If you added a teen, get them to submit their report card for a good student discount or have them complete a defensive driving course. The biggest potential saver, however, is Allstate's DriveWise program. DriveWise is a telematics program that tracks your driving habits right through your smartphone. It monitors things like hard braking, driving over 80 miles per hour, late-night driving, and phone activity. Earning a cash rebate here can be incredibly lucrative. But remember, every single driver on the policy has to download the app and set their location tracking permissions to always with precise location enabled. And here is a highly practical pro tip you really need to know. The app tracks motion, not who is actually behind the wheel. If your newly added driver is just sitting in the passenger seat while an Uber driver speeds and slams the brakes, it will tank your DriveWise score. To fix this, just open the DriveWise dashboard, go to My Trips, find that specific ride, and change the status from driver to passenger. It takes literally 2 seconds and protects all your hard-earned discounts. Section 6. Final Recap and Disclaimer. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical definitions of permissive use to navigating the mobile app and optimizing your discounts. Let's do a quick recap of your key takeaways. Never ever rely on permissive use for roommates or people who drive your car regularly. It's a complete recipe for disaster. Prepare by gathering all license and history data upfront. Use the Allstate app or web portal for the absolute fastest updates. Always assign high-risk drivers to specific lower-value vehicles to avoid those crazy automated surcharges. And finally, rigorously apply discounts like eSmart, Good Student, and DriveWise to offset those premium jumps. Before we go, just a quick legal disclaimer for you. Insurance policies, state regulations, and specific permissive use clauses vary widely depending on exactly where you live and your unique circumstances. The information in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. You should always contact Allstate or your local agent directly for the most accurate and personalized advice regarding your specific contract. I want to leave you with one final, very real question to chew on. Knowing that unlisted drivers can trigger claim denials and total policy cancellations, is skipping a 5-minute online update really worth risking your entire financial future in a single accident? Don't leave it to chance. Log into your account today, double-check your listed drivers, and drive with absolute peace of mind. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay safe out there.